Hello, my name is Kevin Stone, and I'm one of the pastors here at Proclamation Church. It's my pleasure to welcome you to Proclamation Online. Here at Proclamation, our values are to engage all people, to grow as the family of God, to go because Christ came for us, and to proclaim Jesus and not ourselves. No matter your age, race, gender, or socioeconomic status, we want to engage you with the life-changing message of the gospel. We believe that the local church is God's plan, and while we're excited to serve you through these online resources, this should never replace your commitment to your local church. If you happen to live in the Nashville, Tennessee area, I want to personally invite you to one of our Sunday morning gatherings at either the 9 a.m. or 10:45 a.m. service. If God is using this church to impact your life, you can partner with us financially by giving online through our website. And if this is your first time checking out Proclamation, we don't want you to feel compelled by us to give. We're just glad that you're here. We hope that this message helps you to fix your eyes on Jesus and helps drive you deeper into the gospel.
Well, good morning, family. We're so excited that you're joining us in this way, participating in our rhythm of rest. Listen, each rhythm of rest takes place strategically after one of our family meetings. Our family meetings are a place where we update you on the church, on issues of business, things like our church goals, ongoing vision updates, missions, and finances, right? Well, this past weekend, we actually shared where we are financially, and we believe that God has been so gracious to us here at the church in the area of finances. So this is what we're going to do here before we kick off anything. We're going to stop and just say thank you. Why don't you spend some time praying here in this moment, thanking God for his faithfulness to you and Proclamation Church. You know, when we think about rest, there's a necessity attached to rest. Listen, God himself does it. In doing so, we learn what it means to rest and what it means to come to the realization of enjoyment. What I mean by that is this: God didn't rest because he was tired. He rested to reflect on and enjoy the greatness of his work. And he also did it to set an example for us to do, and we want to do the same. The greatest difference between us, though, is that we don't primarily reflect on and enjoy the greatness of our work. We primarily reflect on and enjoy the greatness of God's work. The greatest aspect being the work of the gospel, that it's through Jesus Christ that we are offered to enter into God's eternal rest, the rest that isn't reserved in its totality for a future day, but made available for us to experience in our everyday lives right now. And so, family, we stop and we rest. And when we stop, when we rest, this also gives us the chance to be still and know that he's God, as the psalmist says. Solitude and silence, they mark the places where God meets us. You know, in the busyness of life, and specifically starting a church like we've done, there has to be strategic moments and pursuits of rest, and stepping away can be crucial for us. During these moments, we are encouraged to unplug and pull away, to withdraw, for the purpose of re-engaging well when we do come back and not staying away indefinitely. But it gives us the chance to be refreshed. You know, often the tyranny of the urgent takes over the regularity of hobbies. Part of these moments of strategic rest are to re-engage with simple hobbies that remind us of the goodness of God. Additionally, if you're married or have children, this is an opportunity to give you these times for corporate refreshment to build memories or intimacy. If we aren't intentional with refreshment, we'll get blindsided by discouragement or fatigue. When discouragement or fatigue are present, everything suffers, and we're more apt to turn towards escapism. So this is what I want you to do here in this moment. Why don't you spend time asking God to reveal where you may have been escaping from his presence since the last rhythm of rest that we've had. Do that now. Speaking of refreshment is to choose joy, which is resistance as opposed to indulgence, which is commonplace. In these strategic moments, we cultivate this discipline in a way that carries over into our various areas of life, which leads to us being refined. Scripture speaks about rest not just as the absence of work, but rather the presence of God. And it's in the presence of God where we are able to reflect and ultimately be refined. These strategic moments provide the unique opportunity to go from working on it to working in it. That work entails reading, synthesizing through writing, and even planning for the future more thoughtfully. Oftentimes, it's the refinement element that is the most overlooked because when we get to the strategic moments in our lives, we're too close to the edge of burnout. And all we want to do is get away. Refinement allows us to recalibrate in ways that prevent that eventuality happening and produce something more excellent. I want you to do this. In His revealing, what did you see? Why don't you ask the Lord to refine your heart from what's been keeping you from being in His presence? Guys, all of this is why we practice rhythms of rest, to stop and to simply be with God. I pray that this weekend has been refreshing for you. I'm looking forward to seeing you next week as we wrap our series up, Created for More. We'll see you guys on Sunday.